G'day, Tragic here, and welcome to something very new. This is an application that I bought during the Steam sale called it's called Tabletop Simulator. Now, some of you may know from my, Lord of the Rings plugins. I actually am a bit interested in virtual tabletops. I mainly use them for playing solo card games like Lord of the Rings and stuff like that, Sentinels of the Multiverse. Not that I need to do that anymore because they've got their own app. But I've been following Tabletop Simulator for a while, and I thought I might start a new series which is going to be an introduction to Tabletop Simulator as well as other virtual tabletop applications. I'm going to go through a couple of playthroughs using these things. Don't worry, I'm not stopping using the real board games. I just thought it might be fun to try something a little different for a change. And part of the reason is I'm in the process of designing my own game, which I will be announcing eventually, and I'm going to be releasing it in Tabletop Simulator and other free, because Tabletop Simulator costs money, but I will be releasing it in other free virtual tabletop clients, and my hope is that maybe some people from the channel might be interested in playtesting. But for now, I thought it might be fun just to do some stuff in Tabletop Simulator and give it a go. Remember, this is new. I've only had this about a week, or whenever the Steam sale started. Okay, there seems to have been a slight problem with my levels and the recording of the sound. I tried my hardest to, using amplifying sounds and stuff to try and get it working out, but there's some teething problems with this new method because it's all in the computer and not recorded with my, video camera. So hopefully that'll be all fixed by the first gameplay video. But so the game sounds are really loud and my voice is really soft. And not much I can do about it. I didn't want to start a whole thing again, so this is only the setup video. Let's get on with it. So I'm going to load a game, and I've set up a table for Mansions of Madness 2nd edition using, set it up for solo play. This is the table I've built. Now, all the assets are taken from other existing mods. I've just arranged it in my own table for my own tastes. And it's nothing fancy, it's just a simple table and space that I've sort of increased the size of. And I've put some player boards out. And most of this is taken from the mod, which is, what's it called? Mansion of Madness 2nd Edition Ultimate Edition and Mansion of Madness 2nd Edition 300 DPI. That's where all this stuff comes from, except this, except this dice tray, which is comes from Das Boot. Okay, anyway, so let's get into this. First thing we're going to do is start a new game. Yabam. And what are we going to do? Let's do an easy short one. No, we don't want to do that one. That's too... Okay, let's do Cult of Sentinel Hill. It's only 3 stars. Cult of Sentinel Hill. While investigating the strange disasters plaguing Dunwich, some of the locals turn against you. What the violent cult plans to do upon Sentinel Hill is a mystery to you, but stopping them seems to be the only way to escape. Okay, so this is using the moon crescent, which means this is actually one of the expansions. So let's go. Okay, so now we need to select our investigators, and we're going to do that inside Tabletop Simulator itself. So we're just going to grab the investigator deck. I'm just going to give it a couple of shuffles. Boom, 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 and then I'm going to cut it. Yonk. And boom. Okay. And then we're just going to go bam, 2, 3, 4, 5. Except this guy. As Carlson, we've already used him last game. Vincent, Harvey, Gloria, and Agatha, and boom. Okay. So that's that. Now you might hear very loud clicking. It's because I have what they call a spring bucket keyboard, which is a keyboard which not many people use anymore, but I couldn't live without it. They've got high feedback. Okay, so let me just place all these guys. Now, there's some problems with Tabletop Simulator. For starters, it's got a terrible dice roller in my opinion, but we'll have to compensate. Okay, so let's have a look at our guys. We have Cape Winthrop, and the story so far, very few of Kate Winthrop's scientific colleagues even know her name. She is painfully shy, but nonetheless possessed of a powerfully focused scientific mind. Several years ago, she watched as her mentor was devoured by an unthinkable creature from another world. A weaker mind might have gone mad or dismissed the sight as an hallucination, but Kate knew with full clarity what she saw and has spent her time ever since studying the phenomena that caused the tragedy. The result of these studies is the flux stabilizer. The device is still a work in progress, but she hopes to perfect a device that can permanently protect this world from the monstrosities that dwell in the worlds beyond. Kate is always eager to test the device or do more research at any place evidence of the supernatural can be found. Wow, she is proactive. Excellent. Okay, we also have Vincent Lee. Vincent Lee knows why people die. As a Yale graduate of medicine, he has become accustomed to knowing the conditions that inevitably lead to fatalities. However, since becoming a resident physician at St. Mary's Hospital in Arkham, he has seen far too many horrible and unexplained deaths. An elderly victim torn apart by unknown wild animals, a healthy young man whose heart exploded without identifiable cause. Their twisted faces haunt his dreams. As a man who finds comfort in having all the answers, Vincent begins to wonder if something sinister is afoot in this otherwise quiet Massachusetts town. I guess he must live in Arkham. Unable to continue his practice with the horror that he takes home every night, Vincent decides to take a sabbatical in order to investigate these strange deaths, even if it kills him. Okie dokie. Professor Walters began as a devotee of the archaic and obscure, but over the years has discovered that his knowledge of ancient languages, profane relics, and strange rituals is vital to addressing dangers in the modern day. He is both an avid collector of prehistoric ephemera, I actually don't know what that word is, and a fount of knowledge regarding bizarre primordial religions that worshipped nightmarish gods eons ago. When a supernatural event occurs, Professor Walters is often asked to bring his considerable resources and experience to bear on the problem. Okay. Ever since she was a young girl, Gloria has been plagued by visions of monsters dwelling in strange, nightmarish places. She's a really good character in Arkham Horror. She's like psychic. She eventually learned to overcome the terror that accompanied these visions by writing them into stories. As the years went by, her stories launched her into a successful career as an author, but the more she wrote, the more extreme the visions became. She has come to believe that the images she sees are not her imagination, but rather clairvoyant insight into the world of the supernatural. She has resolved to use this insight to investigate the realm of the supernatural and exorcise those nightmares from the world as well as her subconscious. Interesting. Agatha Crane has degrees in mathematics and psychology. Wow, we've got the full-on nerd patrol this time. We've got a whole bunch of scientists. She is a rational, intelligent woman who believes that reason is the antidote of superstition. Oh, she's going to go around well with the other scientists. She's invented the flux capacitor. Oh, this is pretty cool. That evidence is required for argument, and even the most complex mysteries of the natural world and human mind can be understood rationally. Why then she dedicates so much of her research to the so-called extrasensory perception and the existence of ghosts is a baffling mystery to almost everyone she knows. Agatha calls her field of study parapsychology in an attempt to remove the stigma associated with the occult in respectable academic circles. Her search for test subjects and data continually leads her to strange places and disreputable people, much to the despair of her long-suffering husband, Wilbur. But she is committed to her task for reasons only she seems to know. Well, we have a very interesting group. We've got a scientist, we've got a doctor who's a type of scientist, we have the professor who's a type of scientist, we have the author who's like a psychic, so she's the odd lady out, and we have another scientist. Okay, so hopefully we're going to get lots of spells. Okay, so we need Kate, Vince, Harvey. Okay, so Kate, there's Gloria, but we want Kate, there's Kate, Vince, boom, 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 boom. Where is Harvey? Oh, it's in alphabetical order. I think then she's last, isn't she? Yeah, Gloria, and then Gloria, and then Agatha Crane. Get us starting items. Investigators begin the scenario with the following: a .38 revolver, a flare gun, and a lucky cigarette case. Okay, so we'll just come over here. I'll just bookmark that. What do we need? Search. Revolver, .38 revolver, lucky cigarette case, flare gun, ritual dagger, shriveling, that is a spell over here. So we'll just shuffle that a few times. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then grab the top one. And finally, we have a unique item called the Flux Stabilizer, which is something bizarre. I didn't mean to shuffle, I want to search. Okay, oops. Right. So, let's have a look at these items. Flux Stabilizer. At the start of your turn, move a monster within range up to 1 space. Wow, that is awesome. Well, we've got to give that to the doctor, since she invented it. What do you think? Okay. Once per round, convert a investigation to a success. That's pretty good. We have a gun, we have the shriveling spell, and we have the bladed weapon, which we know from our last game. So what I'm going to do now is, before we assign the rest of these, I'm just going to quickly look at their abilities. So Kate Winthrop, you begin the game with the Flux Stabilizer unique item. Wow, that is a weak ability. What's your one? You or another investigator within range flip 1 damage face down or discard 1 face down damage. Wow, that is awesome. Harvey Walters, another investigator within range gains 1 clue. Activate this ability only once per round. That's really good as well. At the start of your turn, if you have no clues, gain a clue. Excellent. After you resolve a horror check, gain a clue. Okay, so scientists are pretty clue heavy. So I think we're going to give she gains a clue, she gains clues, another investigator gains clues. So he's going to take the lucky cigarette case, which allows him, it's sort of like a permanent clue. The revolver, now that's a firearm. If I remember in my last game, firearms were usually agility. So who's got the highest agility? We've got 3, 2, 2, 3, and 3. Okay, so he's got the highest strength. 2, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we'll give the gun to the doctor. And as for our spell, I think 7, 9, 6, 8, 9. Let's give shriveling to parapsychologist, and we'll give the bladed weapon. I should probably, when casting a spell, I think we'll give the we'll keep the dagger here. Okay. Oh, and finally, what is this thing? The flare gun. Okay. You have only one more shell remaining. You had better make it count. Action. Place fire in the space within range. Each monster in that space suffers 2 damage and discard this card. Action. Place fire in the space within range. Each monster in that space suffers 2 damage, then flip this card. Okay, so we've got 2 shots. Let's give that to the doctor. He can be our fireman. Okay. And everyone gets 1 clue each. Okay. And a clue for you as well, you wonk. Okay, continue, and I'll just try not talk over the intro. Even from the greatest of horrors, irony is seldom absent. Sometimes it enters directly into the composition of the events, while sometimes it relates only to their fortuitous position among persons and places. Booyah!
Asking questions in Dunwich does not make you popular with the locals, but too many strange things are happening for you to remain uninvolved. The herd animals that should be placid stampede themselves into a bloody mess, or vanish without warning. Unseasonable lightning storms flicker above Sentinel Hill just outside of town. Swathes of forest have been destroyed by an impossibly massive force passing through. The locals give you only dark looks in answer to your questions, but their silence is proof of a shared fear. Something unnatural is in the hills. After the sullen treatment, you're not surprised when the men come for you in the dead of night. There are too many of them for you to withstand for long, and your screams for help are ignored. With an explosion of pain, you slip into unconsciousness.
So, you come to your senses in the dark, lying bound on a cold floor. Place the morgue tile and a wall as indicated, then place darkness in the quarantine room. Okay, so we need the morgue. And we'll make that camera 1. Okay. Plus we need a wall. Plus we need darkness. Okay. Booyah. When your eyes adjust to the gloom, you realize that you are locked in some sort of lab. Place your investigator figures as indicated. Okay. Now, the investigators for us are going to be these little tokens because, you know, I don't have 3D models of all the monsters and everything, so we're going to have to make do. But I think it's pretty good. I've put these little dot markers over here so I know which colors are which investigators. Okay, next. While you gain your bearings in the dark, you find that your captors have not taken any of your possessions. You wonder how they could have been so careless, and moreover, what their plans for you might be. Yeah, that's what we call hanging a lantern on it. When you have a terrible plot hole in a movie or something, you call attention to it by going, wow, I can't believe we got out of there. That was impossible. That's so the story has acknowledged that it's ridiculous, so let's just get past it. Hanging on a lantern on it. Your bindings slip when you try to stand and you realize that your captors did not secure them properly. However, as you struggle free, one of your companions seems to be stuck. Vincent Lee gains the rope unique item face down. Okay. Rope, hey? Vincent Lee, that's... which one's Vincent Lee? Ah, that's the doctor. Okay. He's got a condition already. Okay, you struggle against your bonds, but the rope is too sturdy to break. You cannot move voluntarily. This card cannot be dropped or traded. Action. You attempt to slip your bonds using agility. If you pass, you manage to escape. Flip this card. Any investigator in the space may perform this action. His agility is, what, 2. I think we absolutely suck at agility as a whole. We've got 3... 2, 3, 3. Yeah, we've got pretty bad agility. Okay, next. A small sound alerts you to another person locked in the cell with you. When you focus, you see a man slumped against the far wall, cradling an arm close to his chest. He murmurs to you, "Not dead yet, eh? Place a person token as indicated." Okay. Zebulon Watley. Okay. So, persons. Zebulon Watley. Bam. The room only has one door, which is locked with an impressively large lockpick. Place an explore token as indicated. Okay. A faint purple glow draws your attention to a table placed near the door. Place a search token as indicated. A rusty gurney has been shoved to the side of the room, and you think it could be used to block a door should the need arise. Place a barricade as indicated. Okay. So, barricade. So, not quite sure exactly. I think you look at the shadow is the best way to do that. And what else do we need? A search token. The man across from you seems to come to a decision, presenting you with his hand. Zebulon Wheatley. For it not be worth... Oh, it sounds a bit hokey, actually. Zebulon Wheatley. For what it be worth, the way I see it, if any of us to survive tonight, them that caught us need to be stopped. I've got a plan for that if you want to hear it. Okay, investigator phase. Done. Right. So, that is the first episode of the first turn. And it is now... So, turn 1 is ready to start. Booyah! Well, that's that, and I will see you guys next time.